Now there are two shy retiring types from the Sunshine State.
He is rolled gold Queensland. His name's Peter, he's from Queensland, and he's here to help as well.
After 6 years out of politics, Peter Beattie is back.
This is about ensuring that Queensland gets a fair go.
After a phone call from Kevin Rudd, he's been parachuted into the marginal seat of Forde, currently LNP ground by just 1.6%, moving into his brother's house in the seat just this morning.
If I'm fortunate enough to be elected as the member for Forde, I will be buying and moving into the electorate immediately.
He and Kevin Rudd haven't always seen eye to eye. Peter Beattie accused him of putting his leadership ambitions ahead of the national interest and urged him to retire quietly after being rolled by Julia Gillard.
I'm absolutely delighted that he didn't accept my advice. He often doesn't, and I think it's probably in the interest of Australia that he didn't.
Occasionally Peter and I have had the odd stoush in the past. That's okay. That's life in the Labor Party. For me, it's water off a duck's back.
Labor already had a pre-selected candidate, Des Hardman.
I can understand his disappointment, but he's a good person. He's a very hard-working, decent sort of a guy, and he understands the decision.
The opposition now facing a much more high-profile and highly experienced political operative.
Another flim-flam man who hit people with record debt and deficit. Am I worried about Peter Beattie? Of course not. But I bet Kevin Rudd is.
I am happy to be a humble backbencher. As all of you know, I've been humble all my life, and that humility will continue.
Liberal Party polling suggests the Kevin effect in Queensland hasn't worked, that the Labor Party is behind in every seat and has even gone backwards in recent days. The ALP claims their polling tells a different story, but Peter Beattie clearly felt they needed his help. His wife once said if he ever intended on returning to politics, he'd need a pine box.
I've got his measurements.
No laughter from the coalition on the latest jobs figures, unemployment flat at 5.7%.
The only job Kevin Rudd cares about is his own.
In Tasmania, Tony Abbott announced a pilot program for the state to subsidise bosses who employ anyone who's been jobless for more than 6 months.
If it goes as well as I hope, obviously I'd be prepared to consider rolling it out elsewhere.
David Lipson, Sky News.